Hi, my name is Troy Belton. I'm with First Financial Security. And what I do here is I help people with the biggest three problems that most of us will have during our lifetime. Number one is premature death, is making sure that we have everything in place to take care of the ones that we love the most. Number two is coming down with some kind of chronic injury or illness. Statistics say that 40% of people at some point during their life will come down with a chronic illness or injury. And number three is outliving their money. Statistically, we live longer than we have in the past. And so most of us will live well into our 80s and 90s. And obviously we need to have a lot of money to do that. So the story that I give as to how I got started in this industry is that I worked for a company when I was in my early 20s. And the CEO of the company visited us at the time, and he was talking about the money the company made, and he was thanking us for the hard work that we all do. And he asked, what could he do for us? And what was interesting, he was also making comments about his baby needed a new pair of shoes. And at the time, I wasn't making as much money. And obviously, being the CEO of a company, he was obviously making a lot more than I was. And I raised my hand and I said, what I'd like is more money. And, it was interesting. He actually was very crafty in his response. He said that, that what I asked was, what everyone should ask for is that if you don't ask, you don't get. And afterwards, after the meeting, he pulled me aside and said, hey, I have some advice for you. You seem like a really nice guy, really sharp guy. But my advice is if you want to make the money that I make, you need to own your own company. And so that was a wake-up call for me. So one of my favorite success stories in the industry since I've been in the industry is when I was working part-time. I started part-time in the industry because the company that I worked for at the time allowed you to do that, to kind of get your feet wet and try it out to figure out if you really wanted to be in the industry. And so I remember I was talking to someone on the phone who actually wasn't a client, but they worked in an attorney's office. And it was a young lady who I just happened to have a conversation with and shared that I'm in the financial industry part-time and that I help people with their finances. And she actually said that she was interested in hearing more. And from that conversation, she introduced me to a person in the mortgage industry who also happened to know someone who was an accountant in the New York City area for over 30 years. And they introduced me to this accountant. And from that one conversation, it led to me building a team of over 250 people over a 3 to 5 year period of time. So for me, a good referral is someone who has financial concerns or needs, right? So I like to say in this industry is that if you don't have any problems, I don't have a solution, right? So the ideal referral for me would be someone who is married between 30 and 50 years old. They have children, young children, they own a home, and they have good income, whether it's single or combined. So one of my favorite hobbies is reading, believe it or not. I'm a pretty avid reader. I read right now about 2 books a month. I developed that love for reading in college. I was an English major and I changed my major 3 times. I became an English major. And the professor that I had at the time, he helped me develop a love for reading and a love for literature. And it just stayed with me my entire life. If I had to say there was a second hobby, really, it's just spending time with my family, if you can even call that a hobby. And I say that because we travel a lot together, my entire family, me, my wife, my kids, and we love traveling. We love traveling out of the country, within the country, and I guess I consider that a hobby. So the best ways to reach me, number one is my mobile number, which is 704-858-7637. And by email, it's tbelton, B-E-L-T-O-N, the number 46 @gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.